How's it going, guys? Hope your day is going well. In today's video, we are headed over to Eastern Washington to buy a snowmobile. Unfortunately, it is not my new 2022 Polaris Boost, but it is a new sled for my dad. It's not a brand new snowmobile, but it is a 2016 Polaris 800 RMK. He's been on the same sled since 2007. It was a 2007 Polaris Dragon 700, and he bought it brand new from a dealer. But over the past like 10 years or so, he hasn't been able to ride as much, and that's just due to a back injury back when he was younger. But he's had a couple successful surgeries over the past couple years, and he's been feeling a lot better. So I wanted to help him upgrade his sled and see if I can't get him out on the snow at least once or twice this season, since it's been quite a while since he has. Recently, I did help him sell the Dragon 700. I really wanted to get him out on a newer sled. Since I know the Axis chassis very well, I wanted to get him out on an Axis. The suspension on the old Dragon was pretty worn out, and the Axis chassis just rides a whole lot better than the IQ chassis. So I'm sure he's going to appreciate the upgrade. So I'll tell you more about the sled once I do pick it up. So the two main reasons that we're buying the sled, say one, so we can upgrade the sled for my dad, but two, it's going to act as a backup sled for me. I'm going to keep it at my house, take care of it, maintain it and everything. So I told him I'd go halves with him on the sled, but I'm going to pay for the wrap. That way he's got something nice to ride whenever he wants to come out. And it gives me a backup sled to ride just in case I don't have a sled to ride, which is honestly right now because I still don't have my Boost. And as you can tell out the window, there's snow on the ground, there's powder in the mountains, and I'm missing out. So it's about a 3-hour drive over to where the sled is at. So I'll quit talking and let you enjoy the scenery out of the cab of the truck. So I got to where the sled was. I didn't really want to film anything just because I want to respect people's privacy. So I just kept the filming to kind of a minimum, just did a quick walk around of the sled. I was already pretty sold on buying the sled. It has 1,600 miles, looked like it was really taken care of. And the guy that was selling it was a farmer over in Eastern Washington. So I could tell he wasn't the type that would take a sled up and just beat on it. There were a couple things that the sled did need, but I wasn't too worried about that since they were pretty minor fixes. And then started the sled up, let it run for a few minutes, and then he held up the back of the sled so that I could run the track around a couple times just to make sure everything was all good. So I didn't want to waste too much of his time, so I offered him a price. We agreed in the middle, and so I bought the sled and headed home. First stop on the way home was to refuel the truck and just to make sure everything was good on the sled. And yes, unfortunately, I did forget my super clamp, so I had to strap the sled down with 2 straps, unfortunately, but still worked. Thankfully, the Marlin sled deck has multiple tie-down points, so it makes it pretty easy to strap down anything you need to the deck, not just sleds, quads, dirt bikes, pretty much anything. And I wasn't really low on fuel, but diesel was about 30 cents cheaper, so may as well fill up. And plus, I really like this Shree's gas station in Thorpe just because they have a giant American flag right in the corner. I was pretty tired at this point, and it started snowing pretty good on the pass, so I didn't really want to film too much. So we'll see tomorrow when I can unload the sled, give it a once over, and go over a couple things with it before I take it out on its first ride. So, as you can tell in here, it's a little bit cramped at the moment. Got some tires waiting to go on the truck along with the wheels, and I still haven't cleaned up from one of my last gear videos. Let's get some lights on real quick. So we've got to make a little bit more room in here to fit Dad's sled in here. So I'm going to use a little bit of camera magic with these here pliers. And alakazam. Alright, and we're good to go. Alright, we didn't get a ton of room, but enough to get the sled in for now. I think I'm going to get the tires and wheels mounted on the truck here tomorrow or Monday, so I can get that on, because I also need to get the leveling kit for it put on. But pretty stoked to get these on. Let's get the sled in. So it's a little bit dirty at the moment. The guy I bought it from, they own a farm over in Eastern Washington, and I don't think he washed it before he went to sell it, but it's okay. I can wash it real quick, don't matter. It's in pretty good condition, runs really good. Came with a couple bags, came with the tether. He was a pretty tall guy, so he had some risers on the sled, but I'm going to take those off because my dad and I are about 6 foot tall, and we definitely don't need these. These are way too tall. I'm used to bars that are around about here. So these are gonna get lowered. I'm probably gonna throw on a set of spare bars that I have actually to make it a little easier, and we'll go from there. So let's see if we can find them. I've set of OEM bars ready to go, and also a set of some RSI bars pretty much all ready to go as well. I think I'll probably go with these ones. And actually I just realized something as soon as I set these down. This was actually from my 850, and the connector here is completely different for the 800. So the wire colors are the same, brown, brown, and then blue. So I might do a little bit of splicing on this thing because these bars are a little bit too tall. But I think first we're just gonna remove this block and see how tall it is, see if I like it or not. Kind of doubt it, but we'll see. I was able to find some of the old bolts from previous sleds, but I only found 3. There's a broken one right here, but I don't remember this being from one of the handlebar sets. I can't seem to find the 4th one. These ones are a little bit longer, so it'll work, but I'll have to find some washers for it. I think what I'll do is just run these 4 for now, and then go get another bolt to replace that one so that I have all 3 that are equal length. I don't have to run it some weird way to just to be able to ride, so we just gotta find a couple more nuts for them. But just another good example of why you should keep your old hardware, just in case you need it down the road. And now that I think a little bit more about it, I'm gonna mount the original ones up just real quick to see how tall it actually is. If I can ride it as is, I'm probably just gonna run those just because I prefer my handlebars to be a little bit lower, especially about this height. But for my dad, I don't want him to have to bend down too much to reach the handlebars. He's only about an inch or two shorter than me. But I like mine a little bit lower bars just for handling purposes. But I don't want him to have to bend down too much to reach these ones, so I'm going to see how low these ones are. Well, it's definitely still a little bit taller than I would like it. We're just going to live with it for right now. Maybe in the future I'll swap it out for the other handlebars right there, but we'll see how I do. Take it out tomorrow, ride with some friends, take her on a test ride. Got up about 5:30 the next morning to go ride. Now, I'm definitely not much of a morning person. I'm very much a night owl, so anything before about 8 a.m. is pretty early for me, but it's definitely worth it to go ride, especially with it being the first day of the season for me. Met up with Joey, Kelsey, Haley, and Kenzie at our favorite gas station, and then we headed north to meet another friend at another gas station since Joey had unfortunately forgotten his beacon. And of course the Washington weather absolutely shining that day, just pouring the entire way up. Kenzie had brought a spare super clamp and ended up having to pull over about halfway up because it was still sitting on the deck. So once we got to the gas station, I had to give him a little bit of crap for it. Did you forget a little something on the back there?
Yeah.
Thanks for not turning my truck into a unicorn.
Oh, geez. No.
That'd have sucked if that had come off. And so once we had everything and everyone, we beelined it for the mountain. But you already know that wasn't going to last long because we had to stop at another gas station for even more snacks. And after turning off the highway onto the Forest Service Road to take us up to the mountain, certainly didn't take very long for things to go a little sideways. Figured it would only be a matter of time before this happened.
Yeah.
Oh, Joey. Oh, there's the bumper.
re-entry. Buzz, your re-entry.
We're good. That was fun.
That's impressive.
Just slowly more and more off the track. Coming.
Hey, boot scooting. Look at the bee. Oh, half
Oh, the
kangaroo,
zoomies.
half pit
Now
bull.
we got the zoomies. Oh, almost slipped. Unfortunately, I didn't get any riding clips with the sled that day. The snow was just wet, deep, and heavy, so we were all getting stuck left and right trying to punch into the play area. Weather conditions weren't the only part. The avalanche conditions were a little bit sketchy at the time as well. In this next clip, you'll see why. I was down the hill helping someone get unstuck, but Joey and Kelsey decided to do a quick test to see what the avalanche conditions were. So we decided to be a little bit extra cautious going into the next play area.
There we go.
Well, this is a deep one today, and also can't really see anything. Goggles on, goggles off. Just can't see anything. I was helping Haley get unstuck. I went to go over here to turn around. Hit this nice rock right here. The spindle stopped me instantly, and then went to take off. And of course, I'm in powder, so it just sinks. This is a shovel one. The snow is not forgiving at all. All right, we're up and out of the lake. Still can't see. Had to run with no goggles on, trying to go up the hill. That was fun. Just aim for the white spot. Don't aim for the trees. So we made the decision to head down early, unfortunately, and by the time we got down to the trucks with how high up the rain level was, we were all completely soaked no matter what type of gear anyone had.
Today we have 90% chance of clouds, 150% chance of wet snow and rain, and slush puppies right here. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Good pace making.
So instead of going home, we all decided to meet up at this bar called Trainwrecks to get some food and plan out another riding adventure, but on the way down, Mother Nature was not done with us. She decided to, of course, rain even more and give us a nice thick blanket of fog. Afterwards, I topped off the truck again at the gas station and found a nice little surprise on the left-hand spindle and on the outside of the A-arm where I had hit that rock. No damage was done, so just mark it up to a battle scar. Alright, so it's actually the next day right now. I do need to do a few things to this. Ran great yesterday, didn't have any issues with it. Had a couple times where I accidentally hit the kill switch on accident and killed the sled going down the trail. That was fun. The only thing that I would say was the biggest difference other than power with this sled is that as soon as I got into deep powder, it just felt like it sank. It just went down. And actually I'm just noticing a paddle missing or torn right there. As you saw earlier that I hit a rock on the left side here, so that might have been part of it right on that missing or that torn lug. I hit that rock right there, and the sled just sank right next to it. But snow yesterday was very wet, very deep, no base, so everybody was getting stuck. It was Cascade concrete. Just as soon as you got stuck, it just holds you in there. Unfortunately, you can't do the Colorado pin and wiggle out here, unfortunately. But we got more riding coming. This week we should be getting a lot more snow, so look forward to that. And next weekend is Christmas. Probably gonna do a Christmas Eve ride. But this week I don't have a ton of work just because of right before the holidays. With real estate, it slows down a lot. So this week, look forward to more videos being filmed and coming out. We're going to do a few things to the sled. We're going to be lowering the windshield like I've done in the past, as well as just kind of hitting all these suspension points, making sure everything's greased up, just checking all nuts and bolts and everything, and just kind of going through this thing a little more to do a little bit of maintenance to it. But other than that, it runs great. I'll probably throw a new set of spark plugs in it just to get a fresh set in there. But other than that, she's ready to go, and hopefully my boost shows up soon. I do apologize that I didn't get a whole lot of riding footage in yesterday. It was just stuck city up there, so we were just constantly getting stuck. I didn't have my GoPro mount on me, so I couldn't get any like riding footage at the time, but we'll make sure I have that for when I actually ride the boost. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload the next video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.